Conor McGregor just fired Mike Perry after his loss to Jake Paul on July 20th. Yeah, you heard that right. Poor Mike, who actually did pretty well being a bare-knuckle fighter stepping into a boxing ring, lasting 6 rounds, got the boot. But nope, Jake Paul and McGregor just aren't giving him a break. Jake's out here humiliating him for the loss, and Conor, in his typical no-nonsense style, decided to fire him. And guess what? It's all because of Conor's personal beef with Jake, and now poor Mike is getting crushed because of it. But July 20th in Tampa, Florida. A date that fight fans had circled on their calendars for months. The buzz was electric, the anticipation palpable. Everyone knew that when Jake Paul and Mike Perry stepped into the ring, sparks were going to fly. These two weren't just fighting for victory. They were fighting for pride, for legacy, and maybe, just a bit, for revenge. The build-up to this fight was a spectacle in itself. On one side, you had Jake Paul, the YouTuber turned boxer who had been steadily making a name for himself by taking down former MMA fighters. He wasn't just looking to win, he was looking to make a statement.
It made me who I am. Drink the water.
That's what you're gonna sound like. First body shot.
Intense training montages flooded social media, showing Paul in peak condition, throwing punch after punch with a determination that left no room for doubt. The trash talk was relentless. And let's be honest, Jake Paul knows how to hype a fight. He called out Perry, questioned his skills, and even brought up his past defeats to rile him up.
So I stand on business every single time. I manifest it into reality. I, Jake Joseph Paul, will knock out Mike Perry in less than 2 rounds. It's going to happen. Put the money on it.
Mike Perry, on the other hand, was a different beast. Known as Platinum Perry, he had a reputation for being one of the most fearless fighters in bare-knuckle fighting championship. His transition to boxing was a new chapter, but he wasn't about to let a loudmouth like Paul intimidate him.
I came here to sign my check and beat your Jake.
Until it's
I'm here for you, Jake. I'm here to take Jake.
Perry's training camp was no joke either. Videos of him sparring, his fists flying with raw power, were enough to make anyone think twice about stepping into the ring with him. The trash talk from Perry was equally fiery, as he promised to shut Jake Paul up once and for all.
Put this little twerp in his place. He's new to this game. Welcome. Welcome. You just got here.
The night of the fight arrived, and the atmosphere in Tampa was electric. The crowd was split, some cheering for the brash Paul and others for the relentless Perry. From the first bell, it was clear that Jake Paul had come to dominate. He danced around the ring with a confidence that showed his training had paid off. Perry, tough as nails, took everything Paul threw at him and kept coming back for more. The first few rounds were intense, with both fighters landing significant punches. But as the rounds progressed, it became clear that Paul's strategy was working. By the 6th round, Jake Paul had worn Perry down. The accumulation of punches, the relentless pressure, it all added up. Then came the decisive moment. A brutal combination from Paul that left Perry staggering. The referee had seen enough and stepped in, calling the fight. Jake Paul had secured a TKO victory, and the crowd erupted. Some in joy, others in disbelief. The aftermath of the fight was just as dramatic as the fight itself. Social media exploded with reactions. Fans of Jake Paul were ecstatic, celebrating his victory as another notch in his belt. Critics, however, were quick to downplay the win, saying Paul had yet to face a true boxer in his prime. Meanwhile, Mike Perry's supporters rallied behind him, praising his toughness and the heart he showed in the ring. Perry himself, bloodied but unbowed, vowed to come back stronger. But the real fireworks came during the post-fight press conference. Conor McGregor just shook the combat sports world with a tweet that was classic McGregor. Blunt, brutal, and with a dash of his infamous swagger. He declared, "Hey Mike, you're released and you can go and compete in your smelly dirty boxing championship thing, the smell of it, good luck. You're fired." Boom. Mic drop. The MMA and boxing communities exploded. Fighters, analysts, fans, everyone was losing their minds over this. McGregor, a co-owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, BKFC, just publicly axed one of its biggest stars. Meanwhile, Mike Perry, still smarting from his loss to Jake Paul, was not having it. At the post-fight press conference, Perry was visibly ticked off.
He doesn't fucking have a promotion because me and him are both owners of BKFC, so he can't fire me. We can fight in bare knuckle. Look at me, I lost to Jake Paul. Why don't you go fight Jake Paul in boxing with the gloves on? I think it would be worse than Conor McGregor versus Mayweather.
The room was electric. Reporters were hanging on every word. The tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Perry wasn't just defending his career, he was defending his pride. Social media, of course, went absolutely wild. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all lit up with reactions. Fighters from every corner of the globe weighed in, with some siding with Perry and others backing McGregor. Nate Diaz couldn't resist tweeting, "Conor's just salty because he's not in the ring anymore. Let Perry be Perry." Not to be outdone, Khabib Nurmagomedov chimed in with, "Maybe Conor should fight his own battles first." The hashtags Team Perry and Fire McGregor started trending almost immediately, with fans fiercely debating who was in the right. And then, because he can't help himself, Jake Paul threw more fuel on the fire. He mocked McGregor during his post-fight comments, saying, "That's fucked up that he fired your BKFC champion. I told you that was going to happen. I told you exactly what was going to happen."
Boy, Mike Perry, I said, okay, Conor, like after I Mike Perry, then you're next. So Conor's on Twitter all the time. He's on his yacht all the time, but guess where he's not?
Paul knows how to keep the spotlight on himself and stoke the drama, and boy, did he succeed. As the dust started to settle, more details began to emerge. McGregor, who joined the BKFC ownership group in April, clearly had some clout. But the big question was, could he really fire Perry? Or was this just another one of his publicity stunts? Legal analysts and sports journalists dived into the nitty-gritty, dissecting the ownership and operational structures of BKFC to figure out if McGregor had overstepped. Perry, refusing to stay down, took to Instagram with a video of himself training, captioned, "They can't keep me down. Platinum Perry is here to stay. Let's see you in the ring, McGregor." His fans rallied, flooding his posts with support and encouragement. Perry was now positioning himself as the underdog hero, taking a stand against the big bad wolf of MMA. Other fighters in BKFC, like Chad Mendes and Paige Van Zandt, were notably quiet, probably wondering what this all meant for them. The whole situation created an air of uncertainty and speculation. In the days that followed, the analysts on ESPN's MMA Live and podcasts like the MMA Hour picked apart every detail. Was McGregor making a power play? Was this all a calculated move to create buzz and draw attention to BKFC? Or was it just a knee-jerk reaction from a frustrated fighter-turned-owner? Opinions were all over the place, but one thing was clear. McGregor had everyone's attention once again, for better or worse. So just the name of this man alone brings to mind a brash, fearless fighter whose journey from Dublin's gritty suburbs to global superstardom is nothing short of legendary. McGregor's story starts at the Crumlin Boxing Club, honing his skills while dreaming big. Born on July 14, 1988, Conor's early life wasn't anything like the glamorous one he has now. He began as a plumber's apprentice, but the grind of manual labor didn't hold a candle to his fiery ambition and love for combat sports. Outside the ring, McGregor's antics have been just as headline-worthy. From his infamous "who the fuck is that guy" remark about Jeremy Stevens at a UFC 205 press conference to throwing a dolly at a bus, Conor's actions have kept him in the media spotlight. Loved by many for his charisma and fighting prowess, yet criticized by others for his brash and often reckless behavior, McGregor is nothing if not polarizing. In 2021, McGregor decided to mix things up by becoming a co-owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, BKFC. This move was seen as a strategic way to diversify his investments within the combat sports world. McGregor's involvement brought significant attention to BKFC, which had been growing in popularity but was still behind major organizations like the UFC. In the wild world of boxing and combat sports, there's always more going on than meets the eye. So, next time you see some juicy news, come back to this channel for the real scoop. And hey, don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments below.